Guys, we're trying to do an interview. Hi guys, my name's Jonno. I'm the founder of the Karoo Donkey Sanctuary. We are Africa's only verified GFAS sanctuary on the continent. We currently have 135 donkeys in our care. We have 40 rescued horses and a plethora of other farmed animal species. Total beating hearts in our care as we speak is about 440. So why do we do what we do? Everyone asks us. I don't think people quite realize what's been going on. Since time immemorial, there's been a demand on their skins from China. We always say up front, this is not about vilifying the Chinese. The facts are the facts. The demand is from China. Where did this all start? In 2016, the Highveld Horse Care Unit with the NSPCA bust a container in Benoni in Johannesburg, here in South Africa, with 5,000 donkey skins in the container that were destined for China. What was also super concerning for all of us was that half those skins were the skins of tiny foals. So there was no kind of discerning from the poachers. These donkeys were being stolen in the night from the rural people, bludgeoned and skinned. That's when we kind of turned to action and realized that something needed to be done. And just to put it into context, the global population of donkeys is estimated at 42 million. Current demand from China is between 8 and 10 million skins per year. So on current trajectory, unless massive intervention happens, donkeys will become extinct. And for future generations, there will be no donkeys left on the planet. It's not a sustainable project to breed donkeys for donkey skins. A donkey mare carries for up to 12 months. It's not a viable proposition. It is an animal welfare crisis. It's become a humanitarian crisis because all the people who have lost their donkeys in the rural areas now have to actually do the manual labor themselves. So we set up, we mobilized, and in 2017 we heard about an auction up in Hartswater in the Northern Cape here in South Africa, where 600 donkeys were going up to slaughter for the donkey skins trade. We mobilized, we went up, and with the help of some amazing people, we ended up rescuing 236 donkeys. And what was of significance was that 60 of the donkeys we rescued were heavily expectant moms. So yeah, we soon went from 260 to 320 at least, and it became quite evident that this was a challenge that, unless addressed, was just going to continue to escalate. So our work in the trenches, or certainly my work in the trenches as an animal activist of note, is really to raise awareness as to this dreadful trade, and also to educate people as to the fact that these animals really deserve a life of peace and quiet, where they're not beaten and whipped and treated as beasts of burden. So the premise behind the Karoo Donkey Sanctuary is twofold. The one is an educational aspect to it, which is very, very important, just to share with people why it is donkeys need the protection. And the other is to actually sustain the donkeys in our care, to enable them to live out their lives the way you see them here in the fields. In a nutshell, it's a huge challenge for us financially. It's a 250,000 Rand a month cost. I've been funding between 70 and 80% of it in my personal capacity. I wish this were my full-time job. Unfortunately, it's not. I have a full-time career in Cape Town, which I need to fund all of this. So guys, we need your help. We need the help of the likes of amazing organizations like Alu-Cab, who can see the value in what we're doing. And yeah, it's going to be a journey, and we want you guys to join us on the journey, and we look forward to it.
So it's Jeremy from Alu-Cab here, and right now I am down at the Donkey Sanctuary just outside of Prince Albert. our mission here is to get involved in assisting with this incredible place. I don't think you can completely understand till you actually physically come down here to see it, but it is just such an incredible place to be in amongst the donkeys. You cannot believe how they absolutely adore the affection of people around them and the trusting and the likes that go with it. Because you must understand that a lot of these animals have come from abused spaces and the like, so it's so beautiful to be in amongst these donkeys that seem to be so at peace and comfortable here in the fields, in amongst the feed and just collected together at peace. Our mission from Alu-Cab side is that we're always trying to find areas that we can help basically animals in need, and this is one of those spaces where they just they've got such a mammoth task on their hands, and so we really feel quite passionate about getting involved and trying to turn this incredible place into something that's more sustainable and getting more support from people around us. Perhaps we can encourage some of the people that know our business and our company to also assist with this. But it is something special to involve yourself in some way, to be giving back to wildlife all over Africa, because Africa's challenged in every area.
My name is Collins, and I'm here at the Karoo Donkey Sanctuary. I've been here since 2021, working for the donkey, at the Donkey Sanctuary here. And at the moment now, we are on the pasture where the donkeys, they're spending the time for the day. And they'll be here and they have the header looking after them and putting water and making sure that everyone is fine. And at the moment, our day set up as we bring them here, and they're gonna spend time here, and we have to come and take some of them for blushing and picking up the hoofs and making sure to clean the legs and everything like that. And at the moment, we have got also like some horses that they rescued as well, that we are blushing and making sure that they're fit as well and looking after them. And as we are here at the sanctuary here, we have got lots of animals, including like the sheep, the goats, the pigs, the ducks, the ostriches, and the peacocks, the horses, and the donkeys as well at the donkey sanctuary.
Yes, so my name is Owen, and I am the rehabilitation manager here at Karoo Donkey Sanctuary. We offer a home for mostly abused donkeys, which in like a most vulnerable state, you see, in some instances. From morning to sunrise, you know, I have to know who is going where, who is doing what, that kind of stuff, meaning to say that some of the donkeys that are like okay for us, if we are happy that okay, they are okay, then they'll be going out for pastures. But for those that needs attention from farrier work, from wound care, you know, from medication as well, and also support the other manager Collins with the staff, task them with whatever we have on the ground, depending. Our days are kind of like a bit crazy because it varies from day to day. We have got like different situations which I cannot specifically say that our days, they are like strict into that, because each day comes with its own handful of stuff. It's actually a very a sensitive kind of like emotional thing, especially from my own perspective as someone who now understand the bond between donkeys, you understand. But unfortunately, if we go back into the rural communities, it's very few people who have got this kind of knowledge, you see, which is the reason why the founders for this sanctuary started this sanctuary. In future, we also do hope to do outreach programs where we can now then go and educate people so that they can at least understand, you know, their animals and how they can look after them, and when to use them and when to start to also stop using them, like to retire them, and what care they can also offer. Most of these donkeys, when they came into our care, some of them, they were like petrified. They were like very scared. You could not even stand a meter to them. They would be like running away from them, you see, from people, I mean to say. But we have now come to realize that as we work with them day in, day out, they actually would really want to bond with humans, you understand? Like, because we groom them, we do take care of them, we feed them and stuff like that, you see. Meaning to say that at the end of the day, they are like part of our family.
What you doing? Look what you're doing. Come on.
Hi.
You are a naughty one. Yes, you. Oh, we've already got it. No, stop it. Stop it. Put it down, please. Put it down. Come. Let go, please. Am I going to win this?
So naughty.
I just wanted to catch up a little bit further with you in terms of where we're at. We understand the plight that we're dealing with. It's a very challenging space that we're in. But I also need a little bit of help to kind of better understand exactly our sort of call to action here in terms of how we can help, how people can help, what it is that we're trying to achieve. I think that everybody looks in from the outside and can sympathize with us, but I'm not sure what people completely understand, what all can be done, what we need to try and achieve, what it is that we're trying to kind of get over the line here to make this work, because it's so vitally incredible what you're doing here.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, thank you so much for coming up to the farm. It's just wonderful to host you and the gorgeous Alu-Cab girls and Mike here. I think it's a twofold approach. I think first and foremost, certainly where your audience is concerned, just a huge educational in terms of why we're doing what we're doing, what our initiatives are to raise awareness, and to also just detail to people what working in the trenches of donkey welfare really looks like. Because at the end of the day, that's why we're here. That's why we have this initiative. So I think once people realize what is going on with donkeys globally, coupled with how they are treated as beasts of burden, both in a rural context as well as in kind of the mining industry and that sort of thing, people will realize that this is a very important initiative because it transcends animal welfare through to humanitarian needs. Certainly in the African context, where donkeys have been stolen for the skins trade, the rural communities that have relied on those donkeys now have no animals to do the hard work. For us here at the Karoo Donkey Sanctuary, the awareness side of it is quite critical because people generally don't understand why donkeys would A, need protection, and B, need support from people like yourselves in the greater scheme of things. So the vast majority of donkeys we've rescued have come from the rural communities. They were all destined for the donkey skins trade. What we've done here in terms of the pilot project is to allow them to live their lives out the way we believe donkeys should live their lives out. And unless we have support from like-minded people who really understand the importance of the plight, it's a huge challenge. So we launched the sanctuary quite a few years ago. Funding has been our greatest challenge, basically because people don't generally understand why there's a need for what we are doing where donkeys are concerned. So we're hoping through an education campaign to show people how wonderful the cause is panning out for the donkeys in our care, that people will realize that it's really worth supporting. People like yourselves will help us share that message.
I think within half an hour of being here, you understand, because it's just, there's an incredible space that you've created here. You call it a donkey sanctuary, but it's actually an animal sanctuary for the amount of different beasts and birds
species
and
in our care,
that we have roaming around here. And it's incredible to actually see everything at such peace, that there's no threat. So there's nothing more beautiful than that. It's really touched my heart, as you know.
Very excited about that.
To a great extent. But I feel so good about being involved in this. You know, Alu-Cab, as a business, we like to get involved in a lot of projects. We have over the years, and your plight doesn't only come to, you know, this is not the only space. So we're seeing this kind of thing, you know, in every area of our ecosystem, things are getting trashed and disrespected and abused. And so for me, and it's just beautiful to find a place that is actually doing something about it. And
great to hear, Jeremy.
So I'm so grateful for what you've done and what your team are doing here. And it's going to be really, really wonderful to be more involved in helping to get this to really become something more amazing than it already is.
So I think for us, we need to look at a sustainable plan, you know, which starts at grassroots level. I mean, the education side of it is all fine and dandy, but for people to actually buy into understanding what sort of financial resources are required to run an operation like this, this costs us 250,000 Rand a month. And as we mentioned earlier, off camera, you know, I've been funding between 70 and 80% of it myself for the last 4 or 5 years, which has been a huge, huge challenge. But it is my life, it's my choice. A lot of people will say, but it's your choice, Jonno. I completely own that. It's my choice, but I believe it's really giving back to an incredible species and to a greater calling that I think I have. I think so many people, to your point about being here and experiencing it, so many people would understand better what we are doing when they physically come to visit the property and they immerse themselves in these amazing initiatives. They go for these walks with the donkeys and bring them back in the evening. The financial challenge is real. We now have the added challenge of the potential closure of the sanctuary due to the fact that we have not been able to secure the land. That's another very big protracted story which we can go into. But in essence, as you know, we've been desperately trying to buy the land for the last year. We finally came up with funding through private investors, angel investors, and the property was sold from under our noses, under my nose, to a third-party buyer who wants to start sort of a feedlot for cattle here.
You touched on it this morning, interestingly, and it was about kind of a sanctuary for people too. And I mean, I couldn't help but agree, being in the fields with the donkeys this morning, and just it's the most incredible thing to sit and watch them just all going into their own space, that's so at home, so relaxed, no threat, no more whipping and beating and abusing, and just love and care, and people that care for them, and, you know, food, and it's just so special, you know.
What's rewarding for me, apropos what you were saying, is to have the donkeys that have been so abused come up and engage.
Yeah.
When we first did the rescue, the donkeys that had their ears chopped off, the ones that were maimed, the ones that had, you know, stab wounds, boiling cooking oil thrown over them, they were very, very shy of people for a very long time. This morning, and especially to see them engaging with you as well, it's quite a powerful thing.
Sure.
Because they've let the past go, and they've said, guys, we're here, we trust you.
Yeah.
So it's our responsibility to make sure that that trust sustains and forever.
I mean, just again this evening when they were coming up to be put away for the evening, because we put them into a safe space, and they come over and they want you to scratch them and love them, and it's so beautiful to be part of that. It really is, kind of touches straight into the heart.
I'm just so excited you've actually bought into what we're doing because you're here experiencing it.
Yeah.
And I think that in itself is powerful.
No, I mean, you can hear about it and you can think about it and you can dream about it, but until you actually lay a foot in the space and feel it, you don't actually conceptualize just how beautiful it is to be part of it.
Exciting times, Jeremy.